to shrink down to fill my shoes. My point being is this, is that here's the thing. We look for things that we can just pick out and pick on and trying to make ourselves feel better about some idea that we have. I don't have time to get into this morning, but if we could just come to a place where we'd see God for who he is, see Jesus for who he is, take him at his word for what he said, and realize this. Wait, I have to ask Sister Bridget, did you have a dad? You had an earthly father, didn't you? And he was perfect. Okay, let me see if I can find something. Anybody have a father, a dad who was perfect? You might believe that, but I hate to burst your bubble. But there's not a man on the face of the planet that was a perfect father. As a matter of fact, we might have to start thinking about why we think that someone was perfect. Because the question is, did they always do what was best for you? See, I know all sorts of different types of parents, and my dad was a perfect example of a father, maybe not to be, until the end. And if we could just be honest with ourselves, and if we could be honest with ourselves, we would realize this. Because unless you can let your earthly father be a real person instead of some figment of your imagination, you're still going to start looking at God as some figment of your imagination. Because the idea here is that there's only one who's perfect.
Amen.
It's God. Yes. Even Jesus himself said, "Why callest thou me good?" Because there's no one who's good. So what we try to do is we try to put people that we love and we want to put them on some sort of a pedestal, but we don't really want to look at them like, yeah, okay, you know what? Maybe not exactly perfect, but he was the best dad he could be for me. And maybe not always that way. You see, it's going to get real. Until you get real, God will never be real. You hear what I'm saying? He will never be real. He'll always be some figment of someone else's imagination or opinion. Ooh. But having said that, we'll get on back in a little bit. I want to share a video. It's going to take a few minutes. I don't know how much we'll show. But here's what I want you to be able to think about. Some of you, how many of your fathers are gone? How many of your fathers have been long gone? Yeah. How many have just been just a few years? Rosie. My dad. Debbie lost hers how many years ago? 2 years ago? You lost your dad 2 years ago.
My biological dad has been gone for 19 years.
Okay.
My dad has been gone for 2 years.
I wanted to bring that up because she had two dads. Were they both perfect?
No.
Even close?
Maybe.
Ashley, do you have a dad?
Yep.
Is he perfect?
Sometimes.
Let me play this if you will indulge me for a moment. And I hope I can get it to come up.
I just wanted to say that we love and appreciate you.
Love you, Dad.
Love you, son.
So first off, happy Father's Day.
Oh, thank you.
So today we brought in some dads to do a special challenge.
Uh-oh. I'm scared.
So we did something similar for Mother's Day, but for today's episode, you will be participating in a try not to cry challenge.
Oh no!
So in honor of Father's Day, all of these videos are going to be based around dads.
Okay, I love being a dad 100 times more than I thought I would.
I have 3 kids. It's been very rewarding. I've loved every minute of it. I'm already crying! Oh my god!
So after each video that we show you, whether it made you cry or not, we're going to have you rate it on a scale from 1 to 5 based on how emotional you thought they were.
5 and 9, cool. Let's get it. Yes, 10 fathers and their children to participate in a short video. That's all that we're told.
Dad,
What about me makes you proud?
Oh man. Dad, what about me makes you proud?
Oh man, I feel it.
Dad, what about me makes you proud?
So cute.
You're loving, you're funny. I could go on and on.
What makes me proud about you is you just being yourself.
I had trouble with alcohol.
Gosh dang it.
I had trouble with alcohol. It was actually an intervention. Even with all the other people there, you were the real reason that I made the decision to go into the treatment center that I did. And
Emotional.
thank you.
It's so difficult because I can put myself in the father aspect, or I can put myself in the child aspect.
If you're not around, like that would be awful. But like you're the person that would always laugh. Dad, I'm grateful because we didn't know how long you were living with us, and we're so happy.
It's not very often you get a moment to express this.
Dad, I'm proud of you for knowing that the most important thing was to just give your kids so much time.
Oh, that's wow.
I miss having the chance to just check in with you.
Oh,
Sketchbooks.
gosh dang it.
I miss your sketchbooks.
I love you. I love you too.
You got it. We don't say it enough.
That's awesome.
Hey,
A lot of people don't have their dad.
it doesn't come to you until they're gone.
Oh, I hate this. But yeah, I like it.
Freak, man. That one where she was talking to her dad who had passed. Oh my gosh.
Whew. That's heavy stuff, Man. So I miss my dad.
Standing there with my dad, I would have lost it. Standing there with my son or my kids, I would have lost it. It's terrible. Ooh.
So on a scale from 1 to 5, where are you gonna place that one?
I would put it at a 4.
Probably a 4.
I'll give it a 5. I can relate to that video. 4 or 5. I'm tearing up right now.
I probably give it a 3. If y'all had like my kids in here with me and every second, I think I probably would cry.
It's a 5.
I'm gonna go 4. I feel like there's gonna be another one that completely destroys me.
5 star, the father of this beautiful woman. The father of this beautiful woman.
Oh, I do not want.
26 and a half years ago, Amy was born, so I knew that
I
something
have a daughter.
happened. When I didn't know, but it was going to happen.
I dread this day.
I knew that something like this was going to happen. When I didn't know, but it was going to happen at some point. So all that time, I had that time to prepare for it.
Seeing his daughter all get married and stuff, like passing you off to this man, you know, take care of my daughter, man, take care of her.
Nothing can prepare a father for the day that he stands here as a father of bride. Excuse me.
You guys are monsters. Oh my gosh.
When I first held you, I was filled with, amongst other things, terror. How would I look after this little person? From that day on, my life changed. I was your dad. Amy has in so many ways made my life complete. You're everything, Amy, as I wish for.
I think I would cry. I think I would definitely cry.
And it's with an emotional heart, a heart filled with love and pride that you can't imagine unless you get in this position yourself. I hand over the mantle to this man. Stop.
It's so scary.
I hand over the mantle to this man.
It's like I've been taking care of this girl my whole life. Watching it. It's your turn.
And I would like to wish them all the love, happiness, love, prosperity, everything for our future together. Ladies and gentlemen,
I wouldn't be able to get through that. There's no way.
stand and raise your glass for this fantastic program. Ladies and
Okay. Alright, let's get it there. I'm trying to hold off on that one.
It's touching, and you can't describe the moment until you're put in that situation.
Have you ever thought about what it's gonna be like when your kids one day get married?
I know it would be emotional. And it's a great video. It just thinks like, when my daughter gets married, it's gonna be like, whoa.
That's a 5. That's coming from the heart. 5. Jesus.
4.
It's a 5 for me. That one hits me hard.
3, it's touching, but it's something, you know, that you can get through it.
3. I probably can't relate to that one as much, so maybe that's why I'm not gonna get as emotional.
Will was doing just fine until you showed up. Look, we're still gonna take the trip. Oh, bull!
Who doesn't know this scene? I think it's the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Now, you don't tell Will or not. I'm not gonna do your dirty work for you.
I remember this episode.
I'll call him from the road. Yeah, why don't you do that? Yeah, I'll do it. Daddy up!
I'm gonna talk with my ladies.
Will, I'm glad you're here. Some business came up, I gotta handle. So we're gonna have to put our trip on hold. You understand? Yeah, that's cool.
Dude, this is like the scene where Will Smith like graduated to freaking rock star.
It was great seeing you, son. You too.
Lou. You call him Lou, like you ain't my dad. You ain't never here, man.
Yeah,
That's piercing.
I'm sorry, Will. You know what, actually this works out better for me. You know, the slimmies and stuff come to class right next to that. You know what I'm saying? Well, it's all right.
He trying to play it off like he ain't emotional.
Yeah. I'm saying, at least he said goodbye this time.
Do you know how many kids I work with that have been through this?
I just wish I hadn't wasted my money buying a stupid present. I'm sorry. You know, if there was something that I... Hey, you know what? You ain't gonna do nothing now. Like, you know, ain't like I'm still 5 years old, you know? Ain't like I'm gonna be sitting up every night asking my mom, when's daddy coming home, you know? Who needs
Oh my God.
Teach me how to shoot my first basketball. I learned, didn't I? And I got pretty damn good at it too, didn't I?
Yeah.
Got through my first date without him, right? I learned how to drive, I learned how to shave, I learned how to fight without him. I had 14 great birthdays without him. He never even sent me a damn card.
Oh.
I had 14 great birthdays without him. He never even sent me a damn card. I'm gonna get a great job without him. I'm gonna marry me a beautiful honey, and I'm having a whole bunch of kids. I'm gonna be a better father than he ever was. And I sure as hell don't need him for that, because ain't a damn thing he can ever teach me about how to love my kids.
This one really gets me. I can't imagine not being part of my son's life.
You don't want me, man.
Wow, that's deep, man.
Yeah, that was. Whew, I've actually lived that growing up. My mother, when she got a divorce from my father, you know, he basically did the same thing. One morning when my real dad came to the house to say, hey, I want to come and hang out with my kids. And my dad, my stepfather, he came forward and he said, you left your kids. And I took this man on, and these are my children.
I've seen that so many times, and it's still. I just had a kid yesterday write to me and tell me he looks at me as his second dad, one of my students, because his real dad bailed. I'm not only a father to my kids, my own children, like, that's why I refer to my students as my kids. Like, I see them as my kids.
Learning to make a signature for doing that and being an inspiration like that.
The worst part is I feel like I could do more.
That's definitely a 5.
Big time 5 right there.
Probably a 4.
It's a 5.
5.
I would say 4.
3.
Another 5. It made me connect what I saw when I was young, connect to my dad. He was there.
So we actually have one last video for you, and you're not gonna have to rate it. And this one we're only showing to you.
Oh boy.
Hey Papa, happy Father's Day. Hopefully you're super surprised at this video. You made it very difficult to find anyone to even come close to the kind of man that you are in my life. I love you very much. You're my hero. You always will be, and I hope you have a great Father's Day. I love you.
That was a little bit tough. I'm up there in age, so I'm not necessarily counting the days, but I mean, life happens. So you just try to make this good impression and leave lasting memories with the kids, your grandkids, everybody that you're involved with.
Happy Father's Day, Daddy. You're the best dad ever. Happy Father's Day, Daddy. We
Yeah, she thinks she all that.
Hey Dad, happy Father's Day.
She's the one graduating.
And I hope you're having a great day.
Oh man, that's awesome right there. That lets you know how much they appreciate you. You know what you did for them. You know what you're doing for them still.
Hi Dad, it's your favorite and only daughter, Anna, and I'm here to wish you a happy Father's Day. I don't tell you enough how much of a truly great father you are. You are so kind, caring, and compassionate, and I've always looked up to you as a role model. You know how much I love you.
Wow, I didn't know she did that beyond words. That was tremendous.
Happy Father's Day, Dad, and I made a video for you. First of all, I'd like to thank you for giving me life in the first place and always being there. I'd also like to thank you for being the more comedic side of the family, or else it'd be probably really boring. Whenever I get mad, I still do love you. This this video is kind of to thank you for all that you've done to raise me and make me into a better person. But remember to vote for Pedro.
That was cute. Nice.
There's a whole list of ways, different directions you could go with this, and even the best aren't perfect. See, when we want to make someone out to be perfect, here's what we've done: we put them in a pedestal in place of Jesus, and even Jesus says, "There's none perfect except me." Can I tell you, this is Father's Day. Now get this. This is what Jesus came for. He came to reconcile people, mankind. Actually, came to reconcile all of creation. He came to reconcile people back to their Father.
Amen.
And the question then comes that maybe you're here today, and maybe you've never had children of your own, and you never will. Many of us, until we change our attitudes towards God. You see, what happens is until we get a proper perspective and an understanding of who God is, who Jesus is, and who we are, and who everybody else is in our lives, we're always going to set ourselves up for nitpicking and failure. See, Jesus couldn't be everything. Even Paul said that he became all things to all people, but one thing. He never became God. And Jesus, they wanted to make him out to be king, but he said, no, that's not my place, although he already was a king. I mean, you know, if you already are a king, no one can make you one. But beyond this, think about this. You know, Matthew chapter 18 and 10 says, do not despise the little ones. That he also talks about, you know, it would be better that, don't get in the way of the little ones, because it would be better than a millstone be hung around your neck and you'd be cast into the sea. It would be better that you really, if you've never been born, if you get in the way of these little ones. And it doesn't matter whether it's children, it doesn't matter whether it's someone who's 7 or someone who's 70 years old. The idea is that we're supposed to be a witness to people, getting them back to their Father who is in heaven.
Amen.
Amen. Yes.
How are you doing with that? Well, it's all about me. No, it's not. But yes, it is. Because get this, it seems as if the best fathers always seem to have their best, the best desires for their children.
Amen.
Even if you have only one child. In today's world, you can have one child and still never get to a place where you feel like you can, I'll just say from my own perspective and the way I feel, you never have enough time to give all the time that you want to give to your children.
Amen. Right.
I could never be there at all times for my children. Amen?
Amen.
There's only one who can. Who can be there at all times, in all situations, and any place that you go? Who is it? Our Father. See, that is one way we see a perfection, but there are other times when perfection comes in. That's when your Father would tell you exactly what you need to hear, even though you don't want to hear it. Because if all you ever get is what you ever asked for, and that's gospel light. Well, you know, if we believe, then we can pray, and we'll have the prayers, that we have the things, the petitions we ask for. That's gospel light. That's not real life. Anyhow, see, life is not about the victory. Life is not only about the victory. Let's go to a household who had, I guess this is my message, Brother Mike. Let's go to a household who has more than one child. Let's say you've got, I don't know, 3 children, an older one, a middle one, and a younger one. We already know how this plays out. How many know the stereotype? The baby never does anything wrong. Because the baby's always baby. Which is not a good thing, because that means maybe the baby never gets an opportunity to grow up and to mature until perhaps maybe the people who've been babying them for so long is gone. And maybe they still never grow up. And that's a sad thought. Then you have the elder child. Guess what? The oldest child, male or female, they did everything. Whatever was done wrong, if the baby did it, the oldest one got the blame.
Yes. Oh, gosh. Doesn't matter if it was 8 years apart.
You call that justice? But in one sense, I guess we all have something coming, right? Wow. I struggled a little bit with some of these dates, and I had a privilege. I'll share this. On Monday, I had privilege. My schedule got all jumbled up. I'm on my way to one place. I get a phone call. Harold knows about this. He hears these things all the time. Well, I was going here, but. So I turned around and I realized, okay, I took off early. Now that's my destination's done been canceled. I have to reroute myself. And I turned around. I was getting off the highway, and I was going to take a chance on a fast food breakfast. I'm not going to tell you any names or anything like that, because just so you know, for me, they're all bad. But it's better than going hungry.
Yes.
And no, it was not the Arches, just so you know, because I will not go there. But nevertheless, I got off and I pull off the highway, and I pull up, and I'm just getting ready to pull into the drive-thru, and it hit me. Hey, it's Monday.